Imagine if we could transform workplaces to work better for everyone. I'm a professional engineer turned equity, diversity, and inclusion researcher and practitioner. After spending 13 years of my career working in the Canadian mining industry as a professional mechanical engineer, I went back to university to complete 2 graduate degrees and address the discriminatory, toxic, and sometimes traumatic incidents that I experienced and saw happening to others in my workplaces. Ultimately, I want to transform workplaces to work better for everyone. It won't be easy. Shifting workplace culture is inherently a wicked problem that will require multiple solutions. In my PhD study, I collaborated with many people in answering the question, how can we engage, train, and support everyone to act as active allies? The Activating Allies project is an interdisciplinary collaborative project which started in 2020 at the University of Saskatchewan. It was funded by the International Minerals Innovation Institute, Mitacs, Vanier Canada, and Women in Mining Canada. Our goal with the project was to develop practical tools and strategies to transform workplaces to work better for everyone. To make these changes sustainable, we need to empower and support everyone with understanding their role in allyship. Let me be clear, this is not about fixing women or any other underrepresented groups to survive in workplaces that were simply not designed with them in mind. This is about transforming our workplaces so that the organizations truly work better for everyone. This transformation is in line with the intents of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms, which forms part of our Constitution. To shift workplace culture to be inclusive, we need everyone to act as workplace allies who practice inclusion, and leaders, potential allies with added role privilege, to recognize inequities and remove systemic barriers. I define allyship as a practice of inclusion where, through learning, listening, and reflection on personal experiences and privileges, people actively support historically marginalized persons and communities in achieving their full potential. Over the course of the last 4-year research project, we collaborated with nearly 150 people to develop new theory, design and test the Active Allies course in both academic and industry settings, and gain many new insights about the phenomena of allyship. Our findings can help with shifting organizational cultures to be diverse, equitable, and inclusive. The objectives of the Activating Allies study included learning from workplace allies about their allyship practices and how they became active. Then we developed and tested an intervention which supported active workplace allyship. Let me tell you what we've learned along the way. In the first phase of the study, we completed an interdisciplinary literature review. The Activating Allies study draws on scholarship in the fields of sociology, rhetorical theory or communications, human rights, policy, and education. Through this process, I expanded my understanding of the complexity of social change and understood the research to date on the phenomena of allyship. This allowed me to better understand the individuals and systemic barriers and levers necessary to foster inclusive workplaces. In the second phase of the study, fellow researcher Jovita Diaz and I interviewed 17 people who were identified by their peers as active allies. As a result of these conversations, we developed the ally activation model, a change theory, which explains how people advance from a state of unawareness to one of leading change. We found that allies become activated when advancing past a realization stage on their own EDI journey and within a supportive ecosystem of an organization. In the third phase of the study, fellow researcher Dr. Rosa Moazed and I used the Ally Activation Model to develop the Active Allies course. Active Allies is a blended learning course that supports potential allies to hone their awareness of workplace inequities, learn how to support others, expand their knowledge, and develop a practice of inclusion that allows them to lead change in their organization. We first tested the Active Allies course with 26 participants in the College of Engineering at the University of Saskatchewan. Participants progressed through 8 online modules and met weekly with their discussion groups over a 4-week period. The course included 1.5 hours of professionally produced videos where participants learned allyship concepts and gained insights from 8 of the Active Allies from the previous stage. Participants responded well to the Active Allies course. In the third phase of the project, we found that to foster inclusive practices, individuals, including leaders, and those in majority, could be engaged, trained, and empowered to serve as active allies. Allies are created, not born. With the promising results from the previous phase, we sought to test the Active Allies course in workplaces. In Phase 4, Dr. Rosa Moazed and I engaged 76 participants from the Saskatchewan mining industry to participate in the Active Allies course. Like the findings in the previous phase, we found that participants improved as we had intended, with the largest improvements being related to their communication. In both trials, we found the Active Allies course supported increasing awareness and knowledge through the course content. Because of the course content, participants were set up for success in their group discussions, where they deepened their learning and practiced their allyship skills. As a result, we found participants engaged in more frequent conversations about equity, diversity, and inclusion topics. While in Phase 3, we found these conversations were more frequently occurring with friends and family, in Phase 4, we found they were more likely to occur in the workplace. Lastly, we found that facilitating cross-industry training with those interested in advancing EDI can create the conditions necessary for psychologically safe learning. Workplace allyship is a practice of inclusion, where, through listening, learning, and reflection on personal experience and privileges, people actively support historically marginalized persons and communities in achieving their full potential. The Activating Allies project has equipped us with the tools and insights to practice effective allyship every day. After 4 years of study, I know that allyship can take many forms. We all have a role in leading positive change, and while it would be nice if we were further along, the next best time to start is now. To truly transform our workplaces, we need all to step up as allies. Whether you're in a leadership role or part of a team, your actions can create a more inclusive environment. We welcome you to join us in developing your practice of inclusion. Be curious, be humble, be bold. Your actions can drive meaningful change.